Hi Stampers, it's Kelly Ents from Stamping with Kelly, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. Maybe you're joining live, maybe you're joining on the replay. No matter where you are in this world or how you're watching, please comment along. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment along and I can see them afterwards. And if you're commenting on YouTube, you'll just have to open up the comment drop down below. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our monthly online card club. So I hold this every month. I've been actually doing this for 15 years. Not online, but 15 years. Um, in March 2020, I switched online, and you know what? It's just been incredible because now I can have people stamping with me from all over Canada and people watching from all over the world. So I'm here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and this is a very exciting month, you guys. We've got lots going on in the Stampin' Up! World. We've got lots going on in my own personal world too. But anyways, I'll cut to the chase here. We have free shipping starting tomorrow, or I guess tonight at midnight. So tonight at midnight, it's Tuesday, April 18th. So as soon as it turns into the 19th, it's going to be free shipping day. And this is really incredible. So the reason why I love this promotion so much is that it still counts for all of the promotions that I offer too. So with a minimum $35 order, you can actually receive a set of these club cards to craft along with these projects. So this replay is going to be available forever on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching this in the future, please reach out. I might still have some card kits available, and maybe even some other card kits available too that I create. So I love doing these online classes. They're so much fun, and they're great to save for a rainy day. If you purchase at least 6 or more of my past kits, you also get a discount, $5 off each kit. So please reach out to me. I'd be happy to let you know what my current inventory is. But what I was saying was, with a minimum $35 order, you receive these club cards for free. And then if you spend $100, not only will you get free shipping to your house, you'll also get a free two-piece gift from me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a bit here. But mark your calendars, and if this is in the future, just reach out to me. La la la. If you miss this promotion, that's okay. There's other great promotions too. Just reach out and I'd be happy to let you know what's currently going on. So if you're watching this live though, or if you're watching it on Wednesday, the whatever it is, the 19th, then please reach out to me. You can even place an order on my website, so stampingwithkelly.stampinup.net, and reach out to me. There's a host code attached to the description of this video as well. So that's going to attach your order along with other ones, and it's going to count towards club. So if you have questions, just reach out to me, let me know. I'm going to be sitting by my computer, I think, probably most of the day tomorrow, helping you out. If you did want to be included in a group order, I will be placing one in the evening. So you just have to get it to me by 5 o'clock, please. But if your order is over $100 and you're comfortable and you would like it to be shipped directly to your house, it's actually going to be free that way too. So if your order is under $100, then it can be combined with my group order and submitted that way for free shipping. So it doesn't necessarily have to be $100 minimum. But again, that's going to give you the two-part free gift. So this seems like a pretty good deal too, right? Let me just make sure that this is going live. Can I have some comments? Everyone saying hi, checking in. Nothing yet, but anyways, I will keep checking back. I really think it's working here. It took a little bit to get it going tonight, but anyways, it always does. So let's get started in talking about some of the promotions that we've got going on. So I've kind of mentioned this free shipping offer, and that's again with $100 or more that you spend on my online store. It can be for less though if you do reach out to me and if I place it as a part of the group order. So just let me know by 5 o'clock Mountain Time. And this can be for anyone in Canada. You can place your order through me. So please let me know if there's anything that you'd like to get. I mentioned that two-part free gift. I actually was giving away some not butterflies, bumblebees this month. And you know what? I ran out of them. Like, you guys are just gaga over these up to 60% off specials. So I have some other gifts. You can choose the two-part golden gift from March. That's some gilded gems and gold shimmer vellum. Or you can choose the free gift from February. These are all pretty pink, soft pink colors. You get 10 yards of this beautiful gold and pink ribbon, and then this pack of gems, which come in clear and also the pink color. Or you can choose the gift from January, and that is again a two-part gift. You've got two pieces of 12-inch by 12-inch silver foil and this gorgeous satin real red ribbon that's just so luxurious to touch. So you have to make a hard decision, I guess, of what you would like for free when you place your free shipping order, right? We also have up to 60% off last chance products right now. I'm going to be taking you through a little bit of the catalog later, but there's so much and it's selling out quickly. So I would recommend just going on to my website, and that's going to give you the most current, up-to-date supply of what we actually have in stock that's still on sale. And we've got great new filters. You can actually play around and see what the largest discount is and look at it that way. There truly is 60% off so many products. So it's worth checking out. It's really incredible. I have actually never seen them do retiring list the way that they're doing it this time, with so many items with deep, deep discounts. Normally it's like 10 to 30% off. And then, to be honest, they'll do like maybe 4 items that are 60% off, and they're huge, big ticket items. We've got embellishments and ribbon that are 60% off, and many of them that are 40% off and more. So please, please, please check it out and use those filters up at the top to help you to sort through and find the products that are the best deal. You again, stampingwithkelly.stampinup.net, and use that host code that I mentioned as well. So the other thing that I mentioned is that we've got some fresh new colors coming. And what does that mean? Some old colors, well, some current colors, they're not old. Some current colors actually have to be leaving us. So I'm going to take you through those colors right now. These are also affecting the retired list and making it huge, like huge, huge, because all of our grouped color families then are going to be revised. So the cardstock packages that are assorted are going to be discontinued. All of the ink packages, right? If you get the re-inkers in a family, they look something like this, and those are all going to be on the retired list too, as well as many of the Stampin' Blends, and you can imagine, right? Changing up the core colors really is a big change, and we've got actually 11 of them which are leaving. So one core color that I am surprised about leaving actually is this Sahara sand color, and I'm sorry about the glare. I hope that my poor little camera can figure out what it needs to focus on here. There we go. So Sahara sand, this is like a really soft neutral. And if you know crumb cake, it's that kind of craft color. This is even lighter than that and a little bit more of a grayish color, which is so popular. So I'm really surprised that that one's leaving. Another great color for our neutrals that's leaving is this soft suede color. It's a really warm brown color, and to be honest, it's being replaced by a color that's even warmer. So this one I think is a really great, again, neutral that you're going to use for many different occasions and cards. Great for masculine cards too. This Mary Merlot is one that they brought into the neutrals collection, to be honest. We were all surprised to see colors in the neutrals, but I think it really does make sense. But nevertheless, this Mary Merlot color is going. So this is deeper than a cherry cobbler color. It's a really rich, almost burgundy color, but what I think of it as is like a modern burgundy color. Pear Pizzazz is leaving us, and it's being replaced by an even brighter, more vibrant color. Pear Pizzazz was a huge go-to for many of our designer series papers as kind of the lighter, fresher version of our old olive color. So this is a great color that you'll want to make sure that you have in your collection. So as you're looking at these colors and thinking of them, make sure that you check your re-inkers and keep your ink pads juicy for years to come with these colors. And if you are interested in getting any of these colors before they leave, just check your cardstock supply. Make sure to stock up on the ink pad, the re-inker, and the cardstock too. So Saffron is being replaced by a lighter and like brighter yellow. This one was honestly my favorite yellow to go to because it just was so nice and soft. It kind of went with soft um, flower projects, and it also lent itself to like more masculine cards too. So as with everything, I have a hard time with change. But anyways, I'm gonna miss these colors on my cards and my projects. Mango Melody was my favorite orange too. It's just so happy and vibrant, but it's being replaced by not really anything actually. We don't have a new orange coming to us, so I guess they decided it wasn't selling as well, and we kept the true orange color of the pumpkin pie. But my favorite is Mango Melody. It was always just like a happier, fresher version of an orange for me. Blushing Bride is also leaving us. This is kind of a cool pink color. It has a little bit more blue tones in it than some of our other pink colors, and it's being replaced by a much I don't know how to explain it, softer, maybe more pure, soft baby pink color. So Blushing Bride is leaving us. Again, so many designer series papers with this one, so you'll want to get that just to even use along with your designer series paper stash that I know you probably have. One of my favorite colors is the blues and the turquoises. So Bermuda Bay was a real go-to for me. It's a deep, vibrant blue, and I really will miss this. It makes me think of a Bermuda vacation, I think. So make sure you get this one before it leaves us. All of these are while supplies last or until May 1st at midnight, I think they're going to do. Mint Macaron is so close to Pool Party, but it's near and dear to my heart because Pool Party is my favorite. It's a little bit cooler version, or what is it? I don't even know how to describe it. It's a little bit more minty version of the blue Pool Party color. And I just thought it looked so vintage and soft. I loved using this color for many, many years. And the thing is, you guys can keep on using it, but as a demonstrator, I can't really tease you with using these colors that you can't purchase anymore. That would be a little bit cruel. So that's why I'm expressing sadness, is that, you know, when May 2nd hits, basically these ones go in the vault for me, and I don't use them in my business anymore. I will still keep them for my personal crafting though. You know I have a stash, but I just can't play with them for projects for us because that would be cruel to show you things that you can't have for yourself. Pacific Point is our bright, vibrant blue. I hope you're commenting along about which ones you're saddest to be seeing leave us. I know my friend Michelle is really sad about this Pacific Point leaving, and it is. It's such a fun, bright blue. Oh, Mary Merlot I already pulled. Evening Evergreen is, oh, you know what? I'm missing one here. Rich Razzleberry. Let me just, sorry, push back and get that one out. I pulled a Mary Merlot twice, I guess, instead of pulling a Rich Razzleberry. Rich Razzleberry, I think, is already sold out. But if you want me to put one of these aside for you, just let me know. I do have a couple in my collection. So Rich Razzleberry was like a lighter version of our Blackberry Bliss, and it's been around a little bit longer, but we used to think of this as our deepest, richest purple before we had the Blackberry Bliss. So this one is also very near and dear to my heart. So we have 4 in colors leaving us. This is a little bit unusual, and that's because one of our in colors is actually moving into our core color. So Fresh Freesia is that really soft purple color, and that's going to be going into our regular collection. Evening Evergreen stole my heart. It was my most used green, definitely, over the last 2 years. I just loved its deep richness, but it's not like a yellowy green. It's just a pure green. It's quite dark. And I'm sure going to miss this one. So these are from our In Color collection. We knew these ones were going to be leaving us, and so it's a bit of a surprise that that Fresh Freesia is moving now into the regular collection. But I'm still mourning the loss of these. Evening Evergreen. Soft Succulent is another one. It's very similar, I guess, to Mint Macaron in terms of its tone, but just its intensity is a little bit deeper. But this one was a real popular one too for a lot of Christmas cards and even a lot of designer series papers. It pretty much all had the Soft Succulent. So make sure you get a pack of that to go along with all the designer series papers you have in your stash. Another fun soft orange was Pale Papaya. We've had this for 2 years, and you know, as a non-orange person, this one was really one that I gravitated towards because it was like orange, but not orange. It's a kind of orange, kind of yellow, kind of pink, and it's really fun and soft. We're going to be using this on some of our projects. We're going to be using many of these colors actually on our projects tonight. One last kick of the cat, right? Horrible saying, but it's it's a saying nonetheless. Polished Pink is another super vibrant color that, again, is not one that I normally gravitate towards, but I sure use this a lot. I really loved playing around with Polished Pink, and we're going to be using that on one of our cards too. So what's coming, you may ask? Well, if you receive a catalog from me, or even some club cards from me, you will have received these little bookmarks. So I'm going to take you through them. I won't take you through the Kel's Angel stampers. That's for demonstrators on my team, and I give them all the quick information on the back there that they need to know. Same sort of thing with this Stamping with Kelly version of it, but this one is just giving you special, what am I trying to say here? It gives you little quick links. It's not a link. it's paper. It gives you an index. There you go. Oh boy, that was hard. I think there was a wire short on my brain for that one. So this gives you the index, and it will give you the host benefits and everything on the back there. So it's a really great reference guide. Whew, that was difficult. That was more difficult than it needed to be. Let's take a look at our In Colors. So we have our first one here, Copper Clay, which is, I would describe it as like a matte copper. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm just free holding this, so I might be bouncing it around a little bit. I'm trying to take it up to the camera as much as possible. Maybe I can put it sideways here, and that will be better. There we go. So Copper Clay. Then we've got a color called Wild Wheat. And this is one that's a little polarizing, I think. But you know what? I think that adding some Wink of Stella onto these two will make them actually read as a sparkly copper and a sparkly gold. So I think we're going to have fun with that too. Next we've got Boho Blue, and this is, what would we kind of put this under? Seaside Spray-ish, but maybe a little bit deeper. And then the Moody Mauve. How do you say it? Mauve or mauve? Do you say mauve? I say mauve. But I really like this color too. These are so different. They're neutral colors almost in our In Colors. But if you look at fashion, it's really where fashion is going. So I think it's completely on trend. The Pebbled Path is like a really deep, warm gray. I would equate it to the gray granite, but just like a very deep version of it. So these are really fun colors. And we will have these from 2023 to 2025, so 2 years. Now let's talk about our new core colors. We have 4 brand new colors to Stampin' Up. This is that soft baby pink bubble bath that I was telling you about, and then also that pure soft yellow that's actually quite vibrant. It's called Lemon Lolly. We have a new blue called Azure Afternoon, and this one's quite bright, even brighter than Balmy Blue. And then Pecan Pie, which is a nice new neutral color. It's warmer than the, what's leaving us? Soft Suede. Misty Moonlight, hooray! One of my favorite In Colors from the past is back. And then we actually have more In Colors from the past that are back. So Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst. Do you guys remember these? Lost Lagoon. Oh, I love Lost Lagoon. Pretty Peacock. Oh, I was gaga for that color. And Blueberry Bushel, which is such a nice, vibrant blue. So, Kay, are you commenting along? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing them right now. You guys are commenting. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Okay, so you're here with the kiddos. So good to see you guys. Yes, there's so much to discover with the new catalog, isn't there? It's pretty incredible. There's lots of new papers and embellishments and ribbons. That's kind of where it will really transition over. And then you might see some of your returning favorites come back from mini catalogs. So if you maybe missed them or were hemming and hawing and then they went away from the mini catalogs, then you know what, you might be in luck because many of them are back. Pacific Point, yeah, it was your go-to blue. Hey, Michelle. Oh, and Shada says she's going to miss Evening Evergreen. All right, let's see here. Some nice blues coming in the refresh. Yes. Bubble Bath, you're loving? Wonderful. And yes, I agree that Blueberry Bushel is a nice replacement for the Pacific Point. So maybe we'll just do like a quick comparison between the two colors, like the ones that are leaving. Oh, look at, I changed you guys the camera view and I'm showing you stuff that's not there. There we go. Okay, let's take a look here. So Blueberry Bushel compared to Pacific Point. And you can see the plastics on there, so it's a little bit different. But it's similar. It's kind of similar, right? And then let's see Lemon Lime Twist compared to our Pear Pizzazz. This one's quite different. The Lemon Lime Twist has much more of the vibrant yellow in it. I would say that this is like a lime green, traditional lime green kind of color. One that I wanted to show you is how our new neutrals and in colors stack up. So this pecan pie compared to the soft suede, you can see similar, but just a bit different, right? Like a little bit warmer, a little bit lighter. And then we don't really have anything close to the Sahara sand. So that's definitely one that I'm going to be missing because these new in colors are just quite different, aren't they? What else is there? We were going to talk maybe about Blushing Bride and the difference with Bubble Bath. You can see the Bubble Bath looks a lot more cool, more blue base, right? Whereas Blushing Bride is quite like yellowy base, but it's definitely not as yellowy orange base as Petal Pink. So it's interesting to see all those kind of come together. What do we think? I think that's it. I think that's good. Oh, so Saffron, was I going to show you that one? Or did I already? Sorry if I did already. Lemon Lolly to So Saffron, quite different. Okay, we could talk about this all day long. I love, love, love colors, and I know you guys do too. And I know that we are going to have so much fun with these new colors that are coming. But make sure that you don't miss out on the colors that are leaving us. Yes, the space paper. Yes, 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 yes. Pretty Peacock. Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple other things. So this is a sneak peek of the paper pumpkin that is coming. So we were talking a lot about colors. This actually is a sneak peek about our colors too. So it says explore new 2023 to 2025 in colors with this month's kit. And this box is really a sneak peek. They've been doing another sneak peek, and I think it was on a demonstrator site that I was on, that I'm a member of. And they're doing a coloring competition of an image that's similar to the outside of this box. So what does that mean? I don't know, but I'm really loving the look of this. It's woodsy, it's mountains. You can see there's rocks and some flowers around it. So I'm really looking forward to this kit and all the fun that we'll have. So takes me back to our free shipping promotion. Did you know you can get prepaid paper pumpkin codes with free shipping? So that means that you don't pay shipping and you still get the kits monthly. So you can sign up for one 3, 6, or 12 months as a prepaid subscription, and it counts towards club, it counts towards your $100 freebies from me, it counts towards free shipping. Did I already say that? Maybe I did. And then it will also count towards host benefits if you purchase the 12-month kit, which also gives you one kit of the 12 for free. So it's a really good deal to get these prepaid subscriptions, and you can choose to apply them whenever you want. You can save the codes for even years. That's what I do sometimes with like certain 1-month kits or whatever. I keep them on hand and they don't expire. Or if you choose to apply the 12-month kit to your account, what it does is it will automatically send you out the boxes unless you opt out by the 10th of each month. So the 10th is our cutoff, and then that would ship around the 18th, arriving at your door. But it's really great because you can just look at a preview like this and go like, is it going to be my thing? I think it is. And then, you know, you don't have to worry about skipping it that month. So please, please, please make sure to get a paper pumpkin code if that's something that interests you over the next 6 months. This is the paper pumpkin from last month, so I wanted to remind you because it is available for purchase from me now. So this paper pumpkin is their 10th anniversary. So I don't know if you saw there on the preview, but it actually includes a second stamp set for free. So this stamp set here had, whoops, all kinds of sayings on there. So Mother's Day ones, to Incredible Woman, here's to another year of growth, birthday, sending all our love, and then this great sprig. And then you also get this other huge stamp set that goes along with the kit. Whoops, so big it's bending my paper. So this one here has Easter, Spring, Anniversary, To Call You My Friend. And then, of course, the happy to go along with it. So Happy Spring, Happy Easter, Happy Anniversary, Happy to Call You Friend. And then these beautiful sprigs and plants and the little pot that it goes in. You get the polished pink ink spot. So this is one of our retiring in colors. And this is a little sneak peek of the next month. This explains a little bit more of how you can make this card with your bonus stamp set. You guys want to see inside? I showed it quickly last month, but I'm going to show it now because you actually can purchase these full kits and refill kits from me from my retired sale. So just let me know if that's something that you're interested in. So these cards, you make 3 of each of these adorable designs, and it includes gold foil on there as well. And I like this bookcase one. You can see the gold foil is already kind of pre-embossed on there. This little bookshelf. And this one has little gold polka dots on there. You've also got gold happies, a bunch of sprigs. You can use these as stencils afterwards. Use the paper as a stencil. Then you've got these little plant pot bases that have the embossing on there. This beautiful watercolor wash, which is so ambitious to get that blue, like the purple and pink in there, along with the greens. And then look at all these. These are laser cut, so you just pop them right out and put them together. And then your envelopes are super adorable too. Comes with adhesives, and your first kit from Stampin' Up! Also includes a clear block. So this is one-stop stamping. I love to toss these in my bag, and I'm notorious for when I take my daughter to gymnastics, they have little tables there, and I just craft my heart out. But I've totally crafted out of the box as well. All you need are, I like to use an adhesive like Stampin' Seal, and you'll need some scissors. And my favorite tool, so it makes embellishments not so finicky, is a take your pick tool. So those 3 things I toss in my bag, and I'm good to go, along with this cute little box. And people are always like, what is she up to now? One of the dads there is like, what are you doing today, Kelly? It's so funny. Like, notorious now. I'm going to show you this in 1 second. I'm just going to show you the preview first. So this is the preview for this kit for this month. It already shipped out. So again, this is going to be available from my retired sale, but you can reserve it now. You can purchase it from me on the 11th of May. So if you want one of these kits, I do have some extra ones, but you can't purchase it quite yet. Just reserve it with me, and I'll put your name on it, and we'll do the transaction on May 11th when this kit officially retires. So what is in this kit? The sneak peek shows you a few things. So there's a free box organizer, and you can do it just like they've shown here for your ink spots, which is really handy because every one of your paper pumpkins comes with an ink spot in it. But these dividers, you can see there's a whole bunch of little slots in them, and you can put this together and make it into a grid that will fit all kinds of different things. So I've seen people put in like tombos into like a little cubby and arrange it that way. So if you guys want to see that picture, I can definitely send it to you. Just reach out to me, send me a little message, and I can send that picture to you of how this person arranged their little box organizer. We've got a shaded spruce ink spot. We've got an amazing stamp set. This one, oh, it looks like it's all upside down here. With deepest sympathy, enjoy your day. I'm grateful for all the little things you do. Celebrate today. And then it's so nice to have little dots and speckles and flowers and branches, just as making a little collage. Or you can see something like this will really come in handy on the last card that we make this month. So it's nice to have something like that in your collection. The real wow factor in this are these amazing, like almost holographic foiled paper. So I'll show you them in a minute, but I'll just show you the cards of how they come together. You've got these adorable embellishments. These are ones that we have in our annual catalog right now, but I can't remember the name of them because that's how my brain works right now. So you got this beautiful watercolor wash on your envelopes, more watercolor wash on the card bases, or some of the card bases, and then here you start getting into that rainbow reflective metallic foil. These are laser cut. There's 3 sheets of them here, and my tip for you is that when you're popping out these little laser cut pieces, just do all 3 sheets at the same time. It makes the paper stand up a little bit better to bending, and it means that you're doing 3 in the time that it would take for 1. So this one, I don't know if you remember the card that I showed you here, but it has these little peekaboo windows in behind. So that's why you pop out those little laser cut pieces. What else do we have here? So those are the white pieces. We've got some stitch tags and a whole bunch of fun little stitch pieces here. More watercolor wash on that background. We've got some laser cut flowers, watercolor wash, but here's the real wow factor. Oh my goodness. Aren't those fun? They kind of look like stained glass almost, right? But then you get that iridescent foil on there, and it's just a wow, huge wow factor. And you get a lot of these. You get 3 sheets of these so that you can make up the cards. And last but not least, some cute little baker's twine too. So again, if you want this kit, you can't order it from Stampin' Up! Anymore, but you can order it from me, and we can do the transaction on May 11th, and I can just hold it for you in the meantime if you would like a set. And you too can do some crafting at gymnastics or wherever you're running to. It's nice to have it in doctor's offices, anytime when you're sitting around waiting, right? So let's get to our actual crafting now that we've talked about all of the specials and promotions and all the products that we've got going on. Let me just switch back to the comments. Yes. Please comment along. I love, love, love reading what you guys are excited about. This first card that we are making here is one that's really great to template, and I've made it a little bit versatile for you so that you can, you know, choose to have it a little bit more red or a little bit more black, however you decide. But don't throw out these clear envelopes. These are completely mailable. I just put like a little piece of paper in there, or even a post-it note with my address on it, return address, or sorry, their address on it, my return address, and then you can have your card go in the mail and not get damaged. Most of all though, I love these for storing my cards. So as soon as I make the card, I finish it up and I pop it in there, and then as I'm sorting through my cards, I'm not picking off the little embellishments. They're staying exactly where they should be. So make sure you save those. Alright, here's the card that we're going to be making. There's one that's a little bit more of a red version that you can create, or a black version. Can you guys see the difference there? The difference is that I've got 2 sheets of the exact same size of rectangle, so they're perfectly made for these other rectangles to go onto. And you can choose to hide this one in behind or vice versa. Okay, so what do you think I should do? Black or red? Black is a little bit more forgiving, I will tell you that. So I'm going to put that over on the side. Maybe I'll showcase the red one. There we go. Okay, so let's get started with whichever color you choose. And I've got these little pieces. This layout is so good for using up little strips. Okay, good. I'm following what you're saying, Michelle. She says black. These little pieces, I will tell you the dimensions here in a second. Okay, I'm going to start with the biggest one. I'm just putting some Stampin' Seal on all of them first. Okay, so the first one is 2 inches by 3 inches, okay? That's going to go on here, and you're kind of making a very small border. And I'm going to start from the corners and then work my way to the center. Excuse me. And then that's going to ensure that all of my borders are the same. And you know what? If you go a little bit smaller on this outside border, that just means that equally all of these borders are going to get a little bit bigger. Not a big deal. Okay, so 2 inches by 3 inches. Now we're going to take the other one that's 2 inches, and this one is 1 inch the other way, and that's going to be stacked on top here. Again, though, I'm going to work from the corner, and that's just going to ensure that everything stays square, or mostly square, right? The next one here is 1 inch by 2.5 inches. That's going to go up at the top here. So you can see if you had 1 inch sheets of paper that were in coordinating colors, or even by using the front side and the back side, all you would have to do is cut them into little rectangles that are 1 inch by whatever, and then find a larger one that's 2 inches by 3 inches. This one here, the smallest one, is 1 inch by 1.5 inches. And then when you put this all together, it makes this wonderful little collage. Now before I put these two together, you'll see I've done a little sneaky thing. Can I show you? Let's see if I can pull this card apart. I have cut my saying out of the middle of the cardstock that's going in behind. So if you don't want to do heat embossing, or maybe you don't have the supplies for heat embossing, then I'm really sorry. I normally include another sheet of paper. Maybe you'll want to use red. I'm sorry, I hope I caught you in time. But heat embossing just gives this incredible wow factor. Can you see the silver on that saying? And the saying that I'm using is from a stamp set that's really unique. It's called Charming Sentiments, and it's in our annual catalog. And the reason why it's unique is that it has this die pack with outlines to cut every single one of the sayings out. Isn't that fun? So they don't look like much there, but I'm going to show you how this works by cutting out that big wishing you everything wonderful. I really like that. So I've already got that stamp mounted up here. And like I said, I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. So if I'm speaking a different language to you, oh, I'm so excited for you because you're about to see my favorite technique. It's the one that wowed me the first time I saw it and has never stopped wowing me. So I forgot last night, but I'm remembering right now. So pat on the back for me. Grab your embossing buddy. This embossing buddy from Stampin' Up! Is a little powder-filled packet which you can glide across the piece of paper, and it deposits a small little scattering of powder on there. It just takes away any sticky fingerprints or static electricity that may catch some of the embossing powder and have it stuck where we don't want it. This is my oldest Versamark pad. Can you believe this? Ew, right? It looks gross. But you just keep refilling it, and these things will last forever. So this one, I believe, is about 16 or 17 years old, to be honest. So this is a super sticky ink, which also doubles as a watermark ink. So you can see it's really cool because it basically mimics every color of the rainbow. If you're starting off, I would get a black ink pad, and I would also get a Versamark ink pad, because a Versamark ink pad would be great for putting all kinds of, what color am I doing here? Silver. All kinds of like watermark impressions onto paper. You could even make your own designer series paper by just using this tone on tone sort of look. So I've got my silver embossing powder here, and anything that you see that's like this here, I don't know if you can see that, there's little specks of the embossing powder. Just get a fine paintbrush and you can just take that off really quickly and easily. Now comes my favorite part. So that super sticky ink is holding on the embossing powder, which comes in a few different colors. But now we're going to bring in the heat tool. This is a heat tool from Stampin' Up, and it heats up to about 300 degrees. And that's going to start changing this over. Can you guys see that? It's making it melt into the paper, making it permanent, really shiny, and it also has this gorgeous texture to it too. So you can't do this with a hairdryer, unfortunately. It doesn't work that way. This heat tool gets so hot that this is kind of the only way of doing it, is with a heat tool. I'm just going to put some of these things to the side because I'm going to show you some die cutting. So if you are a person who does not have these dies, what you would want to do is use like a big circle punch or something like that, just leaving the frame intact, just so that you can have enough peeking out from the outside here. But sneak that out. Even you could probably sneak in from the side if you didn't have a punch, and then you can fussy cut that out. But I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. So you just want it to be like that, right? So if you came in from the side, you could figure it out and hide that. Okay, so I'm using my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to be using plates 1 and 2. You can see that my number 2 plates, I got them at the exact same time, but they look quite different. As soon as you start cutting into it, you're going to start seeing this etching. And then the plate on top will have an impression of the die onto it. So what I do is, for right now, I'm using this plate, and actually only one side of this plate, as my cutting surface, so where the die cuts into. And this one is just going to ride on the top until this one is so marked up that it doesn't do a good job of cutting anymore. Maybe it's putting an impression on my paper. I can flip it over, wear that side out, and then I can buy a new set. And number 2 will become my new cutting plate, and a brand new fresh one will come on top. So I never replace both plates at the same time. They're sold in sets of 2, but I'm only replacing one at a time. I hope that makes sense. So I've got my cutting here, and they recommend that you stagger your plates. So you'll see I'm actually offsetting this plate a little bit. And this Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine works really well for many of our dies, and even some embossing folders. So take a look in our annual catalog. You'll see a little icon that shows you everything. I think it says it in the mini catalog too, but it shows you everything that you can use with this mini cut and emboss machine. I'm using a little bit of old washi tape just to hold this die in place, so I make sure that I don't have any slippage, especially since I have my camera shooting down and I can't get my head in as close as I'd like to. So plate number 2 will also get staggered, and that's just something that we've noticed with the mini cut and emboss machine, that sometimes you just need to have them offset so it grabs the plates a little bit better. So as you cut that or crank that through, you're going to see that it actually cuts it out. So this die has a little cutting edge on the bottom of it, and that cutting edge actually trims out our saying. Isn't that fun? That little ridge there cuts it out when it puts pressure on it. So these dies are so versatile. You can use them for so many different things, and I love all the sayings in the stamp set. So this is a big winner. Anything that's bundled right now in our annual catalog will not be bundled moving forward. So for example, this stamp set, you can right now bundle and save 10% by purchasing the stamp set and the dies together. So this one is not retiring, but what is retiring is the bundle. So you'll want to make sure that you get that at 10% savings before May 2nd rolls around. There's a little hair in there. There we go. So I'm just offsetting these a little bit, making them crooked. And then now I can put on some dimensionals. Where are my dimensionals? There we go. Dimensionals just add so much texture. They're a wonderful thing to get for free shipping because you know you're going to use them, right? Using our cardstock. Oh, I'm going to put some dimensionals actually on this thing too. You could be using dark dimensionals, like black ones for this. That's a great one. If you're just getting started, the black dimensionals are a great first item to get because it gives you mini dimensionals and the regular size dimensionals like this in one package. You can purchase both of those in the white dimensionals, but you purchase them as two separate packages. The black dimensionals come as a multi-pack, giving you 2 sheets of each. Alright, then we just peel off this backside on the dimensionals. Put this onto our card. Now, this piece here is a piece of our silver foil. It's actually included as one of my free gift options. And there's a version of it that's similar in our annual catalog. I'm putting some Stampin' Seal on one side of it, and then I'm going to put a bit of dimensional trim over here. So then it stays one dimensional thick on both sides. This is going onto a piece of paper that already has a dimensional underneath it. So that's why I'm adding that extra one on the side here, just to keep the oval level. And I'm putting this over the side of the card, but I want it to still fit into an envelope. So I'm just going to flip it over to the back side, use my scissors, and trim along here. There we go. Now I've got my saying. That's going to go over top. So fun. Wishing you everything wonderful. I like having cards like this in my stash, ready for the perfect person. I don't know everyone, right? Not everyone would suit this card, or maybe this card wouldn't suit everyone, but you sure know people who it would suit. Now it's time to get your little assortment of all of these little shapes. And it looks like a random assortment, but I promise you, I spent a lot of time and effort putting these into your packages and giving you one of each of the colors and each of the shapes. So you've got diamonds, circles, and the little rectangles here too. So have fun putting those on. I'm just scattering them, so making it look like you're opening up a drawer of tools and they're kind of, you know, rummaging, you know, rolling around in there. And I'm just going to scatter them around here. You could choose to put them in a row, right? You know, maybe along there or something like that, if you didn't like the random scattering look. The Take Your Pick tool is a lifesaver when it comes to little pieces like this, isn't it? If you guys are right now trying to pick these off of these little tiny pieces of acetate, then you're quickly adding Take Your Pick to your cart, right? Oh, I've got one extra for some reason. That's bizarre. Well, I'm not gonna waste it. I'm gonna put it on there, but you should have 6. I don't know why I have 7. Special treatment on witness to everybody. So here we go. There's our finished card. You can have it in this black and red color, black text with the red background, or the opposite here, the red text and the black background. Let's talk about where we can find these products. So starting in the mini catalog. So all the mini catalog is retiring. Well, I shouldn't say all of it, but the mini catalog is retiring and the annual catalog is retiring. So we have massive lists for both of them. I can't take you through the whole catalogs, but I will show you a few pages as we go here. Page 65. This framed florets bundle is where we get this awesome oval from. Did you guys notice it? It's one of those things that is so essential that maybe sometimes you don't even notice it. But this pack is really great. It gives you a ton of different dies. And the dies actually cut out some stamped images as well as some different images. So this cuts out an oval made only with hearts. So it doesn't cut out like on this edge or this edge. Only the hearts will be cut out. So it's a really fun thing to do, thing to have on your cards. Or you can even pair it along. If you did want an oval cut out, you could pair it along with the other one. This one here cuts out a larger oval frame with all of these little markings on them, and then a smaller oval. The smaller oval is what we used, and then embossed with this metal plate embossing folder. This one here cuts out a really cool double feature as well. So you actually get this really decorative oval, and then the oval inside gets popped out, and that has this great little edge along in it that's embossed. So a great bundle to get. And guys, these dies are 60% off right now. Fabulous deal. So make sure you check that out. Hopefully they're still available, but add them to your card if they are, that's for sure. You're going to get a lot of use out of those. Even just, you know, if you were to get it just for those oval, it's worth it at 60% off. On page 69, you can see many of the items from the Ready to Ride suite that we've used on this card. So the embossing folder, first and foremost. This one's a little bit too wide to use in the mini boss, but you can use it in the big boss. That's what I call the big Stampin' Cut emboss machine. The mini one is a little bit smaller, so we can only put in the embossing folders that are about that wide. But this one is a 3D embossing folder, so you can see it gives that amazing look of that embossed metal when you use it on a metal foil, like a foil card. And we've also got the adhesive back studs. Those ones are 20% off right now because they're retiring. And then this paper is so cool. It's called Ready to Ride. It's 20% off, and one side of it is all this gray and black embossing in a whole bunch of different patterns here. So you can see this beautiful floral, checkers, what are these, nuts? And more checkers, and the wrenches. And I used a lot of this paper, but I really like that tire marks paper. Then on the other side, you've got these fabulous drawings and patterns. So this one really makes me think of the Cars movie and Radiator Springs in Disneyland. You've got that same pattern, but in an orange. And this one is really fun too. It's got all these, you know, I'm going to show you a bigger one here. It's got all these like motorcycle jackets, helmets, boots, wrenches. What else do we have? Gloves, little satchels and things like that. I love those. And then, oh, I'm going to show those last. You've got the motorcycles, which you can actually cut out with the dies. And then this is a really cool one too. You've got all those road signs on there. Great for masculine projects. And this is a really cool sheet. There was an additional piece here that I trimmed off already, but this one you can just trim into little pieces of designer series paper, little vignettes almost, and add elements like a saying or something on there, and then it would just look perfect. So I love this idea of making one sheet where you've got all these little bits of rectangles that you can cut off of them. Really fun, right? And especially for 20% off, I think you'd be able to use this on quite a few projects, and it's so unique. We don't really have a lot of products that look like this. Okay, we've got the Charming Sentiments bundle. This is the one that's bundle and save 10% right now. This is from our annual catalog, and it includes the stamp set and also those dies that cut out all of the sayings for 10% off. So again, not going to sell out because both of those products are available. So you could order that right on May 1st. Have that count towards May Club if you wanted. but you won't have to worry about it selling out, but you will get the 10% savings, right? On all of the projects tonight, I'm using the heat tool, the embossing powders, and the Versamark. The embossing powders come in two different 3-packs. One that's called Basics, which has black, clear, and white, and one that's called Metallics, which has copper, gold, and silver. In my opinion, I love the look of the metallics, but I use the Basics all the time as well. So I'm sorry, I'm no help there. I can't help you decide between the two of them. I think you just have to get them all. On page 139, you have a product that's similar to the one that I use. It's a little bit less shiny. The one that I use here is a retired product, and you can get that for free with a minimum $100 order this month, as well as some real red ribbon. So you get a 2-pack gift for free this month. So the one that's similar is our silver foil multi-pack. This has a brushed finish, matte finish, and a mirrored foil finish, which gives you lots of different options. And it's kind of nice because it's available for purchase. So if you wanted to get one free, that's definitely the best deal. But if you had your eye on a different freebie for $100, then maybe you wanted to purchase that since it is so close. All right, next project. It might look like this, or it might be more pink colors. And let me show you what we're going to be making. This card here is a really fun and fresh take on, I think it feels modern and fresh, and I hope you can think of somebody who inspires you to give this card to them. I definitely have a friend that this just totally makes me think of her. So we've got the cheetah, or this is leopard actually. We talked about it last night and I said I was going to master it tonight, but yeah, here I am not mastering it. And then you've got all these cute little speech bubbles, but you might make a blue version, you might make a pink version, whatever you have in your kit. We're going to have so much fun putting this one together. So let's start with our main sheet of cardstock. You might notice that I already have a score mark on there, and I'm just going to burnish it with my bone folder. This bone folder, you can see, is really worn out. It lasts a long time though. This is probably like my original one, so like 17, 18 years old or something like that. But it's so nice because then it makes your cardstock fold nicely in half, and it doesn't bend or pop open without you wanting it to. So that's another great purchase, I think, for anytime we have a promotion, like free shipping is a great time to get some essentials for yourself, right? This little piece of cardstock, we're using a lot of retiring colors here. So this is Bermuda Bay, this is Mint Macaron, and you can see I've textured it with this really cool embossing folder. You might have dots, or you might have this really fun kind of linear pattern. So we've got Bermuda Bay, like I mentioned, and Mint Macaron. This is our Sweet Sorbet, our in color that's retiring, and this one is Blushing Bride, one of our core colors that's retiring. So lots of retiring colors on these projects, but I think they're just still so fun to use. So let's put this together really quickly. I've got some silver going on this card here. You might have gold. It's all right to mix metallics too, of course. We don't have rules like that anymore. We used to live in a very metallic regimented society, didn't we? And we were like, no, we can't mix and match metals. And now it's almost like encouraged. It's breaking the rules. We lived too regimented for too many years, and now we got to break those rules. All right, put some dimensionals on the back side there. I'm just putting this together really quickly. The part that's going to take a little bit longer is our next step here, which is to put our speech bubbles together. I have those little, I don't know if you guys are having this problem, I have little tiny pieces of acetate from all those embellishments from the last card. Hilarious. All right, I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen. This is a great product. And if you just screw off this white part here, this little post will come out of the nozzle. That keeps it clear. Now, we were debating last night a little bit because some people tried my tip and it didn't work for them. And so I'm sorry if you've tried it and it hasn't worked for you. But what I do is I actually put the lid on, and I like to do that just by gliding it in like that with my finger, and then you can press it in. So when you do that, close it up, then I actually store it upside down. And that means that there's always glue in this nozzle area. And so you're not having like a glue seal dry there because there's air in the half empty bottle. Does that make sense? Some people found that some glue escaped for them. You know, I've never had that happen, and they ended up with glue kind of all over this tip. I have like a little tiny bit, but I always just kind of pull it off like that, and it's not a big deal. Other people have said that if they're using this glue, they like to tap it, and that seems to get the glue that's at the nozzle there. Once they finish using it, they tap it, and they put the lid on, and that seems to make it so that it doesn't dry out with like a little glue plug in there. Okay, I'm just putting this together so I can kind of figure out how I want to do it, and I think I'm happy with that. And this one down here. I've given you all one of these larger speech bubbles, and that's going to be really great to stamp on, I think. You know, I might flip this the right way around. So you can flip them back and forth depending on how you want to use them. I might put this one down here. Okay, so let's start applying them to the project. I'm living on the edge there by gluing onto my project. That's bad. I really like this glue though because you can put little dots on it, and then the take your pick tool is really great. There's a putty in this end, and so you can just grab it and use it like a little mini finger. But the fine tip glue is great because you can really adjust the flow. It doesn't have to be too much. So I'm not really squeezing a lot. I'm kind of just going along. If you have a bubble, just use a nozzle to pop it. This is a clear drying glue, but it does dry with a sheen. So you want to make sure you're not over gluing like crazy. And then this one here is just going to go down there. I love these little speech bubbles. They are also great to cut out in your cut and emboss machine, because with each of these bubbles you can see there's a solid bubble that gets cut out. So you can run through these dies and get a whole bunch of them all at once. On these ones, these solid ones, I'm going to put dimensionals underneath them. I'm finished with my fine tip glue pen. Just going to use my finger, kind of guide that in. And then, yeah, I just store it upside down just like that. I've never had a problem with it, so I hope it's all right for you. I'm going to save this largest one because I'm going to stamp on that. And I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm going to be doing heat embossing on every single project tonight. So if you don't have heat embossing, I'm sorry, because you're just going to be oogling my beautiful projects here. But maybe you'll want to get it this month for free shipping, right? Okay, let's take a look here. So just a note, I'm going to do that same one. I've got it mounted up and it's all ready to roll, so I'm going to keep my life simple. This is from the Conversation Bubbles stamp set. You can see that these shapes correspond with a lot of the different dies. So all of these have a die that cuts them out. And then there's also this just a note. It's just a note, not just for you. And love ya. That would be a fun one too. Maybe I'll switch it up. I'll show you how to mount up your stamp set. So you pop this out and you're going to take this off. When you're taking them off your blocks, just get your fingernail underneath the sticky part, and then it will just peel right off. And then you can keep using the same blocks over and over again. I love not having to store wood blocks all the time. It's just wonderful. So now I'm going to take this sticker, and I'm going to do this a little bit differently. They do have some instructions on the inside, so you can definitely follow their instructions. This is another way of doing it that I find to be really easy, especially if you want nice flat mounted stamps. So I'm going to take this Love Ya and I'm actually going to stick it onto my block. Then using Take Your Pick tool, I'm just going to take this off. For those of you stamping along with me, maybe you are taking this time to go find a little stamp that might work. So now I've got Love Ya, I've got Love Ya here. You just want to make sure you're lining it up, right? Love Ya. And then you can use the block, and then the block has a sticker on it already, and you can use that to perfectly mount that every time. Some of the stamps, especially bigger ones or like longer finicky ones, are a little bit tricky to do with the way that they've described in the inside of the case. So their instructions say to do it a little bit differently, but if you're having trouble with warping, so your stamps are kind of bowing like this because maybe you haven't applied the sticker perfectly flat onto them, you might want to try it with this other way moving forward, because I think you might find that it's quite easy to do. So Love Ya, that nasty Versa mark again. I do have other ones. Look at this one here. Is this a nicer one? Oh, look at how beautiful it starts out as. This is one that I would be using, especially if you're doing that actual Versa mark look, so watermarking on the paper. Okay, I'm doing silver on this one as well. So let's do some silver. Oh, I forgot to do my embossing buddy. Hopefully it worked out for me. Did you know another way of using your Take Your Pick tool is by cleaning off some of these little bits? The little sticky putty just picks them up. They're really great for getting stubborn ones off. So fun. And then if it gets to be too worn out on the tip there, you just crank a little bit more of that putty out, and then crank it so that you can get some of the new putty out. It'll be nice and sticky for you. You can buy replacement tips for those as well, so you don't have to worry about it wearing out and not having any more. Heat tool again, dimensionals again, because we love dimensionals. And then pop that on. So cute. So fresh and modern, hey? I think it's so playful. Then we've got these great flat adhesive pearls, are they? Oh boy, the name of these ones always. Yeah, flat adhesive backed pearls. And these are just stunning. Can you see all the difference in color just in the one package? They're gorgeous, aren't they? And they're nice and flat, so they don't require any extra postage or warp your envelope or wreck them. So this is a great embellishment to get that I think you'd have a lot of fun with for many different projects. They kind of look like actual ocean pearls, so they suit themselves to kind of oceanic cards, but I think that beautiful embellishment is universal, right? What do you guys think? Pretty cute, pretty fun. Is all the metallics blowing out my camera, not letting it focus? A glue booger. You crack me up. I don't know what you're yelling glue boogers about, but oh, I see. I think it was probably something about the fine tip glue pen. Anyways, you made me laugh, and I love that. Okay, let's talk about where these products come from. So many products here from the mini catalog. So on page 23, those flat adhesive backed pearls, and you can see there's no line through them, so that means they're going into the annual catalog. So those you can save for next month's order without worrying. Those ones are not going anywhere. I'm really glad about that. We're going to play with those for a long time to come. But page 39, if you were deciding what to order, definitely order the retiring items sooner than later, and don't wait till later in the month because they might be sold out. So on page 39, you can see the Conversation Bubble stamp set that I used, which is so fun. You could, if you didn't have a die cut embossing machine, you could definitely cut these out yourself. And for 60% off, I mean, what a steal of a deal. It's just great, isn't it? But I think the real benefit is using it along with that, the die pack. And I wanted to point out this one here. This one is a really cool one, so it doesn't cut like an end or anything like that. What you would do is have a rectangle, and you just cut off a little strip at the bottom to turn the entire rectangle into a conversation bubble itself. So they have an example of it here in the catalog on page 39, and I don't know if you can see that. They've turned the bottom there into a conversation bubble. So I think that would be great. Really fun for scrapbooking as well. I really like these conversation bubbles. And yeah, just like something different. Plus, take a look at all these shapes and sizes here that you've got to work with, right? There's a lot of sayings that would fit inside that conversation bubble. So even if you want to get the conversation dies on their own, that would be a great deal too. And those are 20% off. These are so different than what I've seen in the past. So I've been a demonstrator now for almost 16 years. Next month will be 16 years. And I really look for unique items now because, you know, you'll always have flowers and you'll always have these things. But to have something unique in your collection makes it really special. And speaking of unique, this Like an Animal, this is 30% off right now. It's specialty paper. And the reason why is that, oops, can't grab onto it. One side of each of these papers is metallic foil. So here we have the gold with the leopard print. We've got, and then on the back side, I should mention too, is like a flat version of it. So not shiny, it's just matte. And then this one has some colors on it, like neutral colors in the pack. Then we've got a giraffe in the gold color. And then on the back side, we've got giraffe in brown. Then we've got this awesome snake skin. And remember that anything that's white, so all of the bases of these are white, you can use your blending brushes and color them whatever color that you want. So you could make this like a python color. I don't know snake colors, but you could do all the snake colors or different snake colors and make it look really realistic. And on the back side, you've got a little bit more of that snake pattern. And I like that they've always changed the scale of it. So this is quite a large scale. Then they've shrunk down the scale on the back side. Here we've got silver zebras. And then again, we've got that pattern changed a little bit, blown up. And put some colors into it. Then you've got the fish scales, or how about mermaid scales, right? On the back side again, same sort of thing. You've got the pattern slightly changed. And then this one is, what is it, cheetah spots? Leopards have spots and cheetahs have spots, but I think these are cheetah spots. And the back side there. Super fun. 30% off. A winner. You will have lots of fun with this one, I think, in the future. The metallics, the fact that it's white, you can color it whatever you want, makes it really versatile. All right, we've got some items now from the annual catalog. And so which one is this? This is the top tabs here. So I've used the fine tip glue pen, and that one's sticking around, which I'm so glad about. And then, of course, all of our embossing stuff that we used on the first part too. Okay, we're on to our third card. I should have mentioned as well, some of you might not have this card. This is our card that is available for free when you pick up your cards. Or I'm happy to mail them anywhere in Canada. But if you want that bonus card, you're going to have to pay for the postage. So I definitely can mail that one too if you prefer. The next card here, we're playing around with some puddles and raindrops. And guess what? I'm embossing again. Woohoo! So this is, you're going to have something that looks like this, and we're going to put together a card that looks like this. This is a fun fold card, and it's one of my favorite fun folds because it is so simple and easy. It's called the bookbinding fold, or the book fold, and it only requires like a score in the middle of your cardstock. So this is having it cut 8.5 by 11 the long way, and so it's 4 1/4 by 11, and then you just score in the middle, and then you score 1 1/4 inches from that. And that makes it perfectly sized, so that the designer series paper that you use on here is 1 inch by 4 inch and 4 inch by 4 inch. I'm using a piece of basic white here, but you could definitely use designer series paper here, and it works so well on your card. So let's just start making that card base as we go here. And I'm going to fold this piece back just so that we're ready to go. Now for the inside of this, to hold this little piece closed, I'm going to be using a stronger adhesive. So you can use Stamp and Seal, or you could even use some of our tear and tape. I'm going to use tear and tape tonight because I really want it to stick. And tear and tape is just so easy to use for a whole bunch of different applications. I'm going to use it a few times tonight actually. To take the backing off of this, again, take your pick tools, really handy. And then you just press that down onto your card. So the next thing that I want you to do is take out all your bits and pieces, specifically these little rectangles. So you're going to have two of these rectangles in the basic gray color. Now the smaller one of the two is made to perfectly fit behind this little piece of designer series paper. So before you do anything else, just flip this over and get that adhered, because you don't want to be mixing up the two of those. You'll want to stamp your saying onto the larger one here. So let's not get them confused. Let's just put this one right onto our cardstock base so we don't have any accidents that we have to improvise, right? That wouldn't be a happy accident necessarily, I don't think, right? So while we're doing that, we'll just put that other one to the side, and we can put the rest of our card kind of together and get it ready to go. Again, save that clear envelope, don't you throw that away. On the back side here of this gorgeous textured piece, I'm just going to put some Stamp and Seal. And I'm putting this all together with Stamp and Seal because you know I'm going to go crazy with dimensionals for the other pieces. You'll see when I'm using my Stamp and Seal, it stays connected, so that tricks some people and trips them up. And so what I do when I'm finished, and I do it so, I'm so used to it now that I don't even think about it, but to break the chain of adhesive, the line of adhesive, you just move it to the side, and then that just breaks it, just like that. So we used to make this sound called check. It's like making a check mark, but now I just don't even do it anymore. It's so subliminal. I'm really used to this adhesive and our fast fuse that came before that was a similar sort of adhesive, and I just find that I don't have any troubles with it. If you do forget and you know you take it away and you have that big long, well, another booger, then you pull it out like that, then you might not have any adhesive on the tip, so you'll just want to kind of advance it by rolling it, or you can use a silicone mat as well to roll it, and the adhesive won't stick to that. Okay, now you've got your little raindrop base. Let's put some dimensionals on the back side here. You might have one umbrella, you might have two little umbrellas, but I think it's so adorable regardless. Isn't that a fun, fresh card? Love it. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back here. I've lost my dimensionals now. There we go. Yes, a glue booger. And cheetah? Which one was the cheetah? Was it the one that I was thinking? The spots that were filled in? I don't even know. Okay, I've got my piece of ribbon here, and I'm just going to wait for that, because the next piece that I'm going to work with is this little rectangle. This little rectangle I'm going to turn into a fishtail, and the easiest way of doing that I've found is with scissors. You can just snip in, you can kind of eyeball it for the center there, snip in, and then go from the corners to that little snipped piece, and then it won't be like that haircut. You know, you've probably had that haircut. Maybe you've given yourself that haircut where you're trimming your bangs or something and you end up with one side shorter than the other one. So then you make the other side shorter and shorter, shorter, shorter. And before you know, you've got no bangs left or no paper left. So don't do that. Just snip up from the middle, and that, I think you'll find that that is really easy to do. I'm using a stamp set for my sayings called Inspired Thoughts. And this one has one that's just so perfect. It's called, it says, sheltering you with love at a time when words fall short. But there's also other ones here, like you make a difference every day with heartfelt sympathy. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Sending healing thoughts your way. Thinking of you on your special day. And then even Christmas, right? Peace, love, joy. Wishing you all the beautiful gifts of Christmas. This is a huge winner of a stamp set. And the number of times that I've used that hello, I can't even count. I just love this one. And guess what? It's retiring. So make sure you get that before it's gone. Okay, again, guys, guess what I'm using? My Versamark. And I'm just going to take my Sheltering You with Love, a time when words fall short. And, ooh, stop everything. Use your little embossing buddy, because you've really touched this paper a lot, Kelly. There we go. So you're not looking for a lot of this powder from the embossing buddy to go onto it. You're just looking for enough so that it doesn't make it sticky. Now for this card, I got to use my white embossing powder, but you can see how much that Versamark, even just the Versamark, shows up so much on that paper, hey? If you give it a minute to dry, that ink will sink into the paper and it will stay like that. But it does take a little bit longer to dry. And that's why it works so well for our heat embossing. So it's kind of a million duty. It's not just double duty with heat embossing and one color. It's all the colors of the rainbow, as well as super sticky, so we can do our heat embossing. And again, we just want to make sure we're taking off any of that powder that's not where it should be. Same sort of thing, you're just watching for it to stop looking like sand and start looking very shiny. You want to make sure that it evens out. I like to start at one side and then do it to completion and then work my way across. So it's nice and solid. Then I do a one over, make sure it all looks good, and I'm done. Leopards have open-end spots. Cheetahs have filled-in spots. Thank you from the Science Center. You heard it here first. My darling friend Michelle, teaching us all about the animals' spots. I think that's what I said, is it? I hope that's what I said anyways. I would never want to lead you astray, but sometimes I do feel like I'm talking without, I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to say that, without, you know, proper education and making stuff up. It runs in my family, maybe. Take a look at this ribbon here. It's got a variegated look to it, so maybe I'll show you against the white here. So you've got one side that's more blue, one side that is more white, but on the back side, the blue is much less intense. So maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but I'm going to make sure that I can see that blue. And I've got dimensionals happening here, but then a little strip of some Stampin' Seal. And that's where I'm going to put on this ribbon. I should mention that I'm actually trimming this down a little bit. So I put my saying as far to the left as possible, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess here. So you might have a long saying like mine, you might have a short one, so that's why I've let you, you know, move this to wherever you need it to be. Oh, I'm glad I had it right. Hooray. I never want to lead you astray. So then I'm just tying this in a knot. I'm not doing it in a bow. That's just too much. But if you tie it in a knot, oh my gosh, you guys, last night I think I tied the most beautiful knot of my life. We'll see if this one turns out so nice. Nope, I can already tell it's not as nice. It's not bad, but it's not as nice. You guys, look at this knot. How did that even come to be? I should buy a lottery ticket. This one, it's alright. It's okay. I won't redo it, but it's not the most beautiful knot of my life. That happened last night. So if you hear me referring to last night, I always do a two-part of club. And last night was our live version that was interactive. So this is our Facebook Live version. Last night was our Google Meet live version. So that's interactive video chat. So we'd have a little chat in the beginning, then everybody mutes, and then if you do have questions, though, you can unmute yourself and pop on and ask the question. And it's so nice because I can see your happy faces while we're crafting too, which is fun. So I'm just making sure that my ribbon is out of the way. I've got a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, half an inch almost, that I'm going to be trimming off here. And I think that looks really good. So I say that I always do this interactive Google Meet, but guess what? Next month I'm going to make a liar of myself here because I actually will be heading to Norway on the Tuesday of clubs. So what I'm going to do instead is have our regular Tuesday event, which is the Facebook Live, on the Monday. And we will just have to do a little chat, like Google Meet version. Just maybe we're working on projects, other projects or something like that. But I think it's just too much to try and fit in another project or another night like that. Oh, Michelle, thank you. She says, yay, I'm so happy for you. This is actually a Stampin' Up! Trip that I'm going on. And it's one that I've earned by being one of the top demonstrators in Canada and meeting this certain criteria. So it's pretty exciting to get to go on a trip because I've earned a few, but they've been shut down because of COVID, and now we finally get to go. So my husband and I are going to be going on pretty much all expense paid trip to Norway on a cruise for 7 nights, and we're extending it a little bit by going to London. We fly into London and then leave from Southampton in the south of Great Britain. So we're just extending it a little bit, and yeah, it's going to stay in a castle and, you know, do all the touristy things in London, and then also visit Stonehenge. And my favorite show is Downton Abbey, so we're going to visit Highclere Castle, which is the set of Downton Abbey. So I'm counting down the days, and you guys, it's 4 weeks that we leave. 4 weeks from today. Woohoo! Okay, I gotta focus again. I'm getting some vacation brain here. So, oh, I should mention, this is the awkward part to talk about, but Stampin' Up! Really wants us to say that, like, only the top 1% of demonstrators are earning this trip, and so this isn't indicative of the regular demonstrator experience, but anyways, blah, 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 I have to put that little caveat on there. They're cracking down on that, so anyways, it's pretty exciting to go. I think there's about 275 people who earned it globally. There are, I think, about 30 or 35 people who earned it in Canada, and so maybe 40 people who earned it in Canada. And so it's going to be a really amazing experience to bond with so many other demonstrators who, yeah, just look at their business the same way. And I think it's going to be really inspiring, but it's also just like purely a vacation trip, so it's going to be great. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about the mini catalog. So you can see the variegated ribbon on page 23. It's part of that By the Bay suite. We've used all 3 of these things on different sorts of projects, and I think that these are some of the most versatile products in this whole catalog. So this balmy blue and white variegated ribbon, I hope I didn't call it Marina Mist. I was notorious for calling it Marina Mist last night, and so I made myself a little post-it note. Oh, you guys, this poor little brain, sometimes this goes sideways. Okay, so we used the flat adhesive backed pearls on the last project, but you guys remember playing with the By the Bay? We made our pirate card with this, and I also made one of the swap cards. I need to do that in a video actually still, but I use this on my turtle card that I use for swaps. It's so beautiful. This paper is a specialty paper, so it's got embossing on the one side, and it's 6" by 6", and you get 48 sheets, 4 of each of 12 double-sided designs. So this is 20% off right now. I would definitely add that to your order too. That one is great for masculine cards, and it's so neutral with the color scheme. You've got balmy blue, night of navy. You got a bit of coastal cabana in there, but it's definitely not like it's not the forefront. And then a bit of petal pink in there too, along with gold and pearl. So pretty. Page 51 is where you see a little bit more of this suite. This is called the Rain or Shine Suite. And we actually have a few of the products going into our next annual catalog. So again, The Playing in the Rain is not going to be retiring, but what is retiring is the Bundle and Save 10%. So you don't have to order that one this month. You can order it May 1st, and it will be available. I mean, hopefully, unless they have supply issues. But this one is Bundle and Save 10% only until May 1st at midnight. You'll see here as well this Playing in the Rain, the Raindrops embossing folder. And that's what I did on this basic white piece of cardstock here. It's so simple and cute, and I think you could use that for so many different things. We even use that on an ice cream card. Do you guys remember that? We use the loose daisy embellishments on the farm card. And then here's where it all comes together. This Rain or Shine Designer Series paper. This may or may not be sold out already, you guys. But this is where all those umbrellas came from. Aren't they cute? And they have that embossing already on there. They call it a UV coating, which is interesting, but it does make the look of clear embossing. Then the back side, you've got some really fun patterns. This is similar to the sheet that I've given you. So everyone got some of this balmy blue raindrop paper, and you can see you might have a lot of raindrops, or you might have, just a little bit. I love how you can imagine like a whole 12 by 12 sheet of that. Looks really great. And I think these would be awesome for scrapbooking too. On the back side, you've got this great pattern. And then this one's kind of like a moodier, darker, stormier version of it. You still got the embossing on there. And then the back side is a very cheerful little pattern. This is fun too. So this would be great for a scrapbook page, or of course you can cut it into little card fronts and get sky or flowers, or a combination of the two of them. Those little clouds have that UV coating, like that embossed look. And then the pieces of paper that I don't have, because I used them all up, have these little creatures on them. So some of them are a little bit bigger, so I used larger dies to cut them out, or circle dies, and then some of them are a little bit smaller. So you can use different circles from the same kit to cut out this amazing look. My family right now is at my son's spring concert at school. Spring performance concert. I went this afternoon so that I could see it, because I knew that I was busy tonight. And oh my gosh, you guys, these kids, it's just Div 1, so grades 1 to 3, and they are just hilarious. They're singing all the songs, like Beatles songs. So they're just screaming at the top of their lungs, "We all live in a yellow submarine." It's hilarious. I hope that my mom is enjoying it. She used to be an elementary school music teacher, so she'll be right back into the chaos and right in her element, right? On page 77 of our annual catalog is this Inspired Thoughts stamp set. This is the one where it has that great "sheltering you with love at a time when words fall short." I guess it doesn't really, I should have looked at the image that I have, because it's not really perfect for that one. It is, though, kind of perfect for this one, I think. Sheltering you with love. So maybe I should have used a different saying on this one, right? How about, it would have been "thinking of you on your special day," or something like that. That would have been great. But this is really an awesome stamp set. I just went on autopilot tonight, so I might change that up actually. Page 129. Oh, we used our, what do we use here? Oh no, am I following the wrong tabs? You guys. Here we go. Here we go. Back on track. We're in the middle tabs here. So to get that extra crease in there, that extra score line, I used the Simply Scored tool. That's this one here. It's very big, and it's got all the score lines up to 12 inches at, I think it's at 1/8 of an inch increments. So it's really great. You just put the markers on there, and you have your little scoring tool, and it's really easy to do. You can also accomplish that same sort of thing with our paper cutter, which has a scoring blade and a cutting blade on it, so it does double duty. On page 172, guys, these layering circles are one of my favorites. This is an old, like you can tell by the packaging, but it's been around for a long time. Look at this, it's from back when we had a Big Shot. That's how long it is. But I really like this set because it has these cute little scalloped edges that you can pair with all of the different circles. So I don't know if you can see that there, but you have this cute little scallop edge peeking out. And it's quite big circles, right? You can see these are quite big circles, down to 1-inch diameter circles with a little scalloped edge to go along with it. Look at that adorable little scallop edge. You've never seen anything so cute in your life. So this is leaving us, and I can't believe it because it actually takes the place of a whole bunch of circle punches. And so I like having all of the circles in one pack, and having these nice big ones is a great option. So I would highly recommend getting that before it's gone. Now, while we're talking about this, I want to take you through all, oh no, you know what, do I have one more thing to show you? No, I don't. This is everything from there. So that's the end of that card supplies, but I wanted to take you through these dies because there's some amazing deals on these dies. So speaking of amazing, that's my word. Have you guys noticed that? I'm notorious for saying amazing all the time. So amazing thanks is 60% off. Artisan editions, 60% off. Beautiful shapes, and these are all retiring. That's why they're on sale. So they're not going to be available after May 1st of 2023. So beautiful shapes, 20% off. Oh, this one I'm devastated about. Brilliant wings. These dies, not the butterflies themselves, but all of those come on one die, like the outlines of them, and the die itself is this big. And the same thing with this detailed one. So you actually get an outline version and a detailed one that you can overlay. And I love this design. It means that with one crank you get 6 gorgeous butterflies, and then you can get the outline along with them. For 60% off, I would get that. It's a no-brainer, and you don't even need the stamp set to go along with it. However, there is one. You should maybe take a look at it. All of these have, maybe we will take a look at that one just because I'm so gaga over that one. 116. It says it, I'm not making this up, it just says it right down here. So it says take a look at page 116, and you can see this is the stamp set that goes along with it, and it's so big. You can see all the butterflies that they put together. And so the stamp has all those butterflies on one stamp. You ink it up once, you stamp it on the paper, and then you can use the dies to cut it out all with one crank. Really, really handy. Okay, so that's page 169. If we go to page 170, we've got the brushed shapes at 40% off, the daffodil at 60% off, delicate edges 60% off. That's everything that's retiring from that page. Sorry if I'm making you seasick. Eden is 60% off. Enchanting Details 60% off. Fabulous Frames 40% off. Fancy Frames 50% off. Floral Gallery, Floral Gallery 60% off. Forever Flourishing, this is one of my favorite stamp sets. I would definitely get this one as well. The dies are 50% off. The hydrangea here is 60% off. Sorry. And then the next page, we got our layering circles. No discount on those because they know that we want them, right? The layering dioramas, though, we had a lot of fun with these, didn't we? So much more than the fried egg that we first saw, maybe Michelle, right? Layering dioramas 30% off. Love You More Than is 40% off. Majestic Mountain, again, another one that's so great to be used by itself, but it has a wonderful stamp set that goes along with it. That one's 60% off. Painted Labels, some excellent shapes in that one, 60% off. Palms, whoops, I've got arms of my stand here that's getting in the way. 60% off those palms. Okay, next page, Penned Flowers, 60% off. Perfect Plants. Have you ever seen so many 60% off? Here's another one, 60% off. Picture This, 20% off. Poppy Moments, 60% off. Potted Succulents, 60% off. Sorry if you guys are looking in the other camera angle, you can see how ridiculous this is. Pretty Pillow Box, 40% off. Pretty Pop-Ups, no discount. Ranunculus, I think that's how you say it, 60% off. Almost done. We've got Rugged Icons, 60% off. Seaside Seashells, 60% off. Seasonal labels, I think, are already gone, already sold out maybe a month or two ago. Sequins are 60% off. Split card textures, these are really fun and unique. I sold these basically to longtime stampers, and it was like longtime stamper after longtime stamper were ordering these. Do you remember last month when we used the stitched greenery? This doesn't cut anything, it just stitches it. 40% off. Let me remind you here. Remember that? Oops, are we going to show it? There we go. You guys remember that from last month? I cannot believe, and I'm shocked and saddened that I can't keep using these in my business. The stitched rectangles are 30% off. They're leaving us. Can't believe it. We've also got the Summer Shadows, 60% off. Sunflowers, 30% off those ones. Those ones can really be used on their own too. They don't really need the stamp set except for maybe this image right here, right? Twigs and Sprigs is a really fun set. This is an embossing folder and a die. So you nest the die into the embossing folder and put a piece of paper into the embossing folder. So you crank it through with a big boss all at once, and when it pops out, you're going to get cutout shapes like this that have the embossing from the embossing folder, and you've only cranked it one time to do both of those things. That one's 20% off. Tulips are 60% off, and there we go. Those are the dies. So much better than looking at this list, right? It's kind of crazy. All right, guys, ready for our last card here? Our last card will look something like this in terms of your supplies, but it will be your last set of supplies on your table. That's your hint. And we're going to make a card that is so elegant and pretty. This one, I'm giving you an option. You can do some white embossing onto the black, or I've included some shimmery white cardstock as well that you can use. So this one's so much fun. And then I'm also embossing a little bit here with gold just to add a little bit onto this designer series paper. So these bees were the gift that I was giving out this month. And I'm sorry to tease you with them, but I had already done up the projects by the time I sold out of them. So you guys are getting one little bee for everybody, but the gifts that you'll receive are a little bit different. You can choose from one of my previous month's kits, or gifts, I should say. Okay, I'm getting out a block here because the bee that you have is made out of shimmery white cardstock, which is retired. I think it's sold out too, you guys, but if you want some, just contact me and I can put it aside for you. We're going to turn this bee into a beautiful golden bee using some golden colored inks. I'm using Pale Papaya, which is retiring, an ink color that's retiring, and I'm also using So Saffron, which is a core color that is retiring. And I'm going to use those along with a water painter. So with our old pads, you can see I've got a mixture of the older style pads and the new pads. They keep working for so long that, you know, I don't replace them unless I need to. So the So Saffron is one of our older ones, and you can see I just like pressing them a little bit here, and that actually creates a little palette in the lid. Now when they did the redesign of the stamp case, they made it so much tighter. So that's really good because not as much air gets in, so it means it stays juicy for longer, but it means that it's so tight fitting that you really don't get this palette look. So what I like to do instead is take a clear block, and I'm going to just stamp that onto there, and then I'm going to use the clear block as a palette. So I can close this up, and I don't have to worry about getting any water in there. So using my water painter, I'm just going to put a watercolor wash onto this paper, and this paper stands up so well to watercoloring. That's why I'm really sorry to see it go, because we had lots of fun using this for a great many techniques. But I'm doing a watercolor wash first, and then now I'm coming in with some of the color. And I'm squeezing a little bit to make this kind of happen. There we go. And purposely not doing an even coat. You can, but that's not really the look of watercolor. So if you can help yourself, try to, you know, accentuate your watercoloring technique by doing a little bit of unevenness. Okay, you can let that dry for a minute, or you can choose just not to squeeze as much, and then you can get a little bit more deep color happening when you're putting in the pale papaya. This is so much fun to play around with watercoloring on this paper. It gives you a really subtle look because it has a coating on it, so it kind of spreads the water around a little bit. Then you can just use your Stampin' Scrub to clean this off. There we go. Oops. To clean off your brush tip, now as I'm just kind of letting that dry a little bit, I'm just going to take a Kleenex, a little tissue, and then I can squeeze this paintbrush into the Kleenex. I'm kind of squeezing and daubing it off at the same time. When it runs clear, that's when you know you're good to switch colors. You might even get a little bit of color that starts happening in the reservoir itself. You can just twist this open. All I put is water in here. You can do this technique with alcohol, but I like water because it doesn't take so long to dry, and so it actually gives a really nice look for this project. Okay, so I'm letting that dry here. I'm going to put my ink pads away. And what else should we do? Should we do our stamping and embossing? You're going to have two random sized rectangles. These ones are just for the saying, because I don't know what size of saying that you're going to be using. If you're just stamping, I've given you the same color of paper, this shimmery white paper, just because it's a little bit different than the color of our basic white, and I'm picky like that. So anyways, to give you the same sort of look, if you're stamping and not doing a heat emboss, then you might just want to use that one because your ink won't show up on the black. But guess what I'm going to do? Got my Versamark back, and I'm using this retiring stamp set called Through It Together. It has so many fun, tiny little sayings, and I just love them for a card like this. So I used You Are Loved Today and Always, and then I also did one with Stay Strong, My Friend. I thought that was really sweet. I might even just do one with Hello Lovely, because that's a nice one to have in your pack, right? Oh, you know what, though, you guys? I'm going to do one that's a little bit different. I'm going to say sending you this paper hug, because it's already mounted up. I'm feeling lazy right now, I guess. So again, just peeling off there, and then I can switch. I'm not too picky about stamping this straight because I know I'm going to be trimming this off. Sending you this paper hug. You want to try to stamp as straight as you can so you're not rocking it back and forth. Perfect. Because I'm trimming it off, I don't need to worry about the other things. The edges that have a little bit of white on them. It's just the most satisfying technique. It gives a wow every time you do it. Now you could use a paper trimmer for this part. I find that my snips just work really well. And then I'm going to do like a trapezoid shape this time. The saying kind of lends itself to that. And then we'll take a closer look and see if I need to readjust. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So if you're not, if you're using one or the other, you're going to have a leftover rectangle, whatever that one is. You can just put it to the side and use it on another project or put it in your scraps. Oh, one more thing, actually. I'm going to do some heat embossing with this background. So I have the Soft Succulent. This is another one of our in colors that's going to be leaving us. And this is not cardstock, it's designer series paper, but it has this great pattern on it. So it might have this one here that has like some of the pale papayas in it. But I'm going to use a stamp set that goes along with the bee. If I can find it here. Went deep in my drawer, and there we go. So this is the Queen Bee stamp set. And this has some really awesome stamps in it that I'm going to use to kind of give that like distressed look. So this one here says Garden Bee, Flower, Bloom Life, Miracles, Honey Gather, Spring Grow, but it's got this speckled on it. And then you also have this one that's just speckles. You can see this one here. So I'm going to use that in a few different ways. I'm going to stamp this one kind of here and here, so that it comes out from in behind this beautiful central feature. So again, using my Versamark, I'm going to stamp on there. And using the gold this time. Now this is such a nice technique to use with embossing because it doesn't really matter if you leave speckles, right? It's kind of the look. So let's do this together. I can't wait to show you this one. Oh, look at this. I do have one big splotch there though. I will take that off. And then the big rule of embossing is to move your tray away from your heat tool because it will just blow it everywhere. So much fun. My favorite technique. And I'm going to do that little splotch here onto my bee, but you know what? He's still a little bit wet, and if he's wet, he's going to have some embossing powder stick in not a blotchy look. It's going to be like patches. So I'm going to dry him first. Or is it a her? Is it the queen? It might be the queen. That's what this stamp set is, right? Queen bee. I've heard that queen bees can get really, really big too, so maybe this is truly a queen bee. Okay, now I'm going to take that little tiny splotch and just put it a few different times around here. Now, if I had my tweezers handy, that would be awesome. But I don't, because they were packed in my to-go and for when I went to Saskatchewan. So let's just make sure that I'm not touching any of the spots where I've got that beautiful speckle. You could also do like a flick of Wink of Stella or something like that. Would be really beautiful on this project. But I got to show you guys some techniques and some different ways of using these stamps, right? So you'll see me doing something. You might be doing the same thing. You might be doing something different, right? Once the heat tool is warmed up, it just goes so fast. Ooh. Yep, getting a little toasty there. Those ceramic tipped reverse tweezers would sure come in handy if I were more organized. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, you guys, I'm going to go so lazy on this one because all the pieces are intact. Like, you may want to spend your time poking out the pieces or poke out a few of them, but I've got all of them intact. I'm just going to leave it like that. I think it looks great. If you are using if you're planning on poking them all out, I'd highly recommend getting the die brush attachment for the Take Your Pick tool. This is the tool that I've been using all night, looking like this. And then you can actually unscrew this piece and put in the die brush attachment. It comes with a piece of foam like this, and then you just, over top of the die, rub it back and forth and it will poke it out. It's like using 100 tweezers, like 100 little, pokey tools at once to get all those little pieces out. But again, I'm going to go super lazy tonight, and I'm just going to put glue dots on the back here. So I am going to put 2 on, and the reason is this is my first one here. Can you guys see how much movement there is there? And then on the second one I put 2 glue dots, and now it really doesn't move around. So 1 glue dot makes it almost like a pivot. 2 glue dots under there would just really hold it in place. So I'm going to fix that later, but I wanted to show you guys the difference, because I would recommend 2. Here we go. Put that right onto our little bee. And then I'm going to curl up the wings a little bit, because I just think that looks so pretty. You can use your bone folder too if you want. I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't want to start popping out all those little pieces. Okay, let's start putting our card together. Oh, I have a little bit of embossing powder. That's pretty good. I've made it through 4 projects of embossing and just had a little bit there. There we go. Okay, so building up our card. Let's clean this off a little bit. So building up our card, we can score and burnish our card base with our bone folder. And then now I can put this piece on with all that beautiful embossing on there. Did you guys see that? Oh, so pretty. There we go. Now for the next little piece here. Oh no, next little piece is this piece here. This is that same shimmery paper as last month when we did that really fun leaf technique, but this time I've used it with the Hive embossing folder, which is actually retiring. I'm going to stick this on. You could do dimensionals, but I'm doing a lot of dimensionals on other spots, so I'm going to stick it on with my super sticky tear and tape. And that's just really easy to do on this textured paper. This paper is so beautiful just on its own. I'm saying it's easy, and I'm like, I think I'm going to curse myself by saying that, actually. This punched image is one of my favorite punched images. And guess what? This is retiring too this month. So I'm going to press that on. And then now I'm going to actually put some tear and tape on the back side of my ribbon. I've cut it long, and we're just going to put a little strip of it. I have it angled on both sides here. So on the back side of that, I'm going to put a smaller strip of tear and tape, because I know I'm not going to be using this full piece. And you can snip one side. I'm going to do it with this. There we go. And then kind of lay it on the card and figure out how much you want. There we go. So laying it on there. Then now I can put this on with some glue dots. Sorry, I'm hearing them upstairs and my mind is going other places. It's hard to turn that mom brain off. I'm just putting them in the center, but I'm putting 3 on just because I really want it to stick on top of all those textures. I'm leaving the wings so that they can flutter up a little bit. You guys are busy crafting, I can see. Or maybe you're just settling into a lovely evening of just enjoying this show. That's okay too. On the back side of this saying, I'm going to put some block dimensionals. I was referring to them earlier. But these are so handy to have in your arsenal, especially for the spots where, you know, you just don't want them to be visible and you're using darker colors, right? Look at those, they just disappear. I'm going to put this one up into the center. That's kind of fun, hey? Sending you this paper hug. Now again, some more finishing touches. You could use your baker's twine as full strength, or you could pull it apart to the different pieces. Oh, look at that. I've got two little legs happening there. I gotta trim those off. There we go. This is just one strand of the 4 that are woven together to make this regular width. So how I do that is I just start pulling these apart. I'm going to try to get 2 this time. Even if you just separate one and one and then put them back together, but this is going to work well for me. So just kind of pulling that down a little bit, and now I've got 2 of these little strands, and now I can tie that into a beautiful bow, stick it on with a glue dot. You might want to even put it on with something smaller than a glue dot, maybe a little bit of the Tombow multi-adhesive. I'm a fan of glue dots though, so you'll see me using those. I'm just making that bow as tiny and dainty as I possibly can. So pretty. So then when you get to your glue dot, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, the glue dot is too big for it, right? And it might be, but what I like to do is just use my take your pick tool to kind of roll it up, fold it back on itself. Oh, this is a sticky one. There we go. Fold it back on itself. Oh, this one's going to be stubborn. It knows I'm almost done. There we go. I'm going to put that right onto my project and then stick this onto it. And you can put it in a different spot, right? I put it down here a little bit when I had my saying down there. I'm enjoying it up here a little bit. It's tucked right under the wing. And now I can trim off my tails. This card would be gorgeous just like that, but you know how I like to take it up a notch with some bling. I love using rhinestones and shimmery things on all my cards. So we're going to use one of these little retired bee trinkets that were my gift but are gone. I'm so sorry. It's like torture to tempt you with something like that, right? And then you can stick it on with a mini glue dot. Those are the stickiest mini glue dots ever. I can't even get them off. And then these are our champagne rhinestones. These are also retiring in the annual catalog. So this, I put the big one and one of the small ones down at the bottom. And then put one up here too. I just love all the amber and yellow, gold, beautiful elements of this card. Ooh, so pretty, right? All that shimmer and sparkle. And then that saying in white is just pops right out. Okay, you don't want to miss this part, okay? Don't leave quite yet. I'm going to take you through some of the embellishments as well that are for sale right now, on sale right now. So starting with the mini catalog, let's talk about what we used from in there. The Fine Shimmer paper pack is 12 inches by 12 inches. Comes in soft succulent, which is like this kind of color, which is that one there. The gold and the fresh freesia color. The fresh freesia is our in color that is continuing forward, and you can just see like how spectacular that is. So pretty. And then also from our mini catalog, we've got our Pale Papaya faux velvet trim. Isn't that pretty? It's not super great for tying onto cards, but I like it better anyways when you just glue a piece of ribbon on there. It just seems a little bit more effortless, right? Just taking a strip on there. So 20% off that. This is our Delicate Desert paper pack. And maybe this one was a little bit invisible for you. I don't know. But it's got really fun, beautiful patterns. So we've used a combination of these 4 patterns on your club projects. The back side has these great geometric looks. And then there's a few more sheets that just have like really fun textures and have that kind of Phoenix, Arizona sort of look. I really like this set. That one's 30% off right now. Okay, from the annual catalog now. We have quite a few things that I want to show you. So first and foremost, the Through It Together stamp set is the one that I used for all my thoughtful sayings. This one has everything that you need that you don't want to give out, but that you really have to give out, right? Sending you this paper hug. You're capable of great things. Stay strong, my friend. Don't let worry spoil your happy. May your comeback be stronger than your setback. Praying for blankets of healing around you and yours. I just really, really love this. How about this one? The best way to get through things is together. Love it. On this page 129, we use the water painters to create that beautiful watercolor look on our bee. And then Shimmery White, I mentioned those ones are really amazing, but I think they're already sold out. So I have a few packs. Just let me know if you'd like one. We're going to come back to this page here. This is the one that I really want to show you because look at all the 50 and 60% offs. That's a really great deal. The ones that I used on this page are 10% off. They're the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and you get a whole sheet of them and 3 different sizes, and they have a beautiful golden shimmery look to them. Also from the annual catalog, I used the Baker's Twine Essentials pack for that white Baker's Twine. Look at all these punches for 40% off, 30% off. How about a 2-pack of hearts for 50% off, 2 for the price of 1? Amazing. Then, which one did I use? I used the Label Me Lovely. This one's so great because you can make it as long or as short as you want. And if you want to know how to do that, I can definitely link a video to that. Just mention that you would like to see that video. The Hive 3D embossing folder that we used on that shimmery paper is 60% off, you guys. As well as like other ones like that Seashells 3D. That one's 60% off, and the dies are 60% off. It's so pretty. So I really wanted to show you these embellishments. And then while I'm showing you this, I want you to think about which card you like the best and write in the comments which one was your favorite this month. Okay, come on, where are those embellishments? Here we go. So, oh, I didn't mark these ones. I don't think anything is retiring on that page. Okay, so we've got on page 142, the sprig trinkets are 50% off. The flower trinkets are 40% off. The in-color opal rounds, those are the in-colors that are just leaving us, so including the fresh freesia that's continuing forward. Those ones are 20% off. Red rhinestones are 10% off. Champagne rhinestones are 10% off. Pearl Basic Jewels, which I'm so surprised about. These ones you can color any color with your blends markers. Those ones are 50% off. As well as the opal rounds, 50% off. The elegant faceted gems are 60% off. Solid faceted gems, 30% off. The matte black dots are 40% off. Sparkle and Shine sequins, 50% off. Loose flower flourishes, 50% off. Effervescent elements are 30% off. The heart pearls I think are already sold out. The pastel pearls are 50% off. Faux glass C shapes, didn't we have fun with those? Those are 50% off. And then the ribbons as well, you can see up to 60% off. Many of those leaving us. But again, the embossing folders. Well, let's go through punches just quickly here. So yeah, 40% off, 50% off. Many of these, they're just so beautiful. So versatile too. And what did I want to do? Embossing folders too. There we go. So the brick and mortar is 10% off. They're replacing this one with a more distressed look. If you were to ask my honest opinion, I prefer this one. Take a look maybe at the new catalog and see which one you prefer, but I would get one of those for your collection. It's so handy to have a brick embossing folder. The gingham 60% off. Hive is 60% off. Into the Clouds 60% off. Let's Celebrate is not discounted. Pretty Flowers 20% off. The Seashells, like I mentioned, 60% off. If you don't have those, I think that's a really great purchase. That's one of those nesting embossing folders, I believe. No, it's not. No, I'm lying to you. You cut it out and then you put it into the embossing folder, but it works perfectly. Thanks and hello, 50% off, and the wintry ones are also being discontinued. So guys, take a look online. I would hate for you to miss out. Now, I want to see over the next days, weeks, months, which ones are your favorite? Did you like the bee? I wonder if you could guess my favorite. Did you like these cute little critters who are playing in the rain? Did you like the metallic and the, what's it called? Animal prints? Or did you like, the gears and, there's not the gears, the nuts and wrenches and tire tracks and everything like the shop floor? Which one do you like? Which one do you like? Can you tell which one I like the best? I really like this one because of its simplicity and its clean look. As well, the colors look really fresh to me, but I am just loving on this one here. So I hope that you also have a favorite. So again, if you have watched this video, congratulations on making it to the end if you weren't stamping along. But if you want to stamp along, please reach out because I do have extra sets of projects at the time of recording here. But I would love to have you stamping along with me. So I run this club monthly on the third Monday and Tuesday of every month, except for May of 2023 because that's when I go on my trip. So it will just be one event next month on the third Monday of the month, and that's going to be a Facebook Live event. There won't be an interactive Google Meet next month. You're just going to have the one event, and it's going to be uploaded before I go so that you can reference that and stamp while I'm away. If you do want to craft along with me, if you do want to place an order, please reach out and I'd be happy to help you out with anything, especially with the free shipping offer that's happening tomorrow, which is Wednesday, April 19th. And thank you so much for crafting along with me. It's just been great to hang out with you. And I hope to stamp with you again very, very soon.